everyone. I am so excited today because in the Shimmy Spotlight series, we have what to me is a very, very special guest for a couple reasons. We have Murakami with us. Hello, Mal.
Hi.
So good to have you here in this series. Mal, I'm extremely excited for two reasons. One, because I know you personally and I've met you personally.
Yeah.
And the other reason is because in 2014, you were the selected choreographer for Shimmy Mob. And I have to say, your smile is contagious. It's impossible to watch you and not smile.
Aw, that's so sweet.
Yes, you make people happy. You make me happy anyway. So, so welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Mal, before we get into what you do, I know a lot of people are watching this. They probably know who you are and what you do.
Oh, no.
So before we go into what you do right now, can I just ask you how you got, I know you're not dancing right now, but how did you get into belly dance in the first place when you did?
I actually started dancing in high school. I took dance 12, and then that's kind of where I got exposed to different types of dancing, and that's where I discovered joy of dancing as well. So from that point onward, I was trying different styles, and about when I was 20-ish, I discovered belly dancing, and it was offered in the UBC campus where I was studying. So it was really convenient. And then I started dancing there and I just fell in love with it. The music and everything was foreign to me, but at the same time, it felt so natural at the same time. It's the funny thing about belly dancing. Like you move like a belly dancer and it just makes you feel good. And it's kind of really a style of dancing that makes you love your curves or not having curves in some parts and having curves in some parts, and you just like start to love that as a whole package. So yeah, that's how I started dancing.
And then at some point, I'm not sure if this happened before or during, but you've transitioned, or at least from what I've seen, is you transitioned now, you are a costume designer and you are the creator and founder of Sparkly Belly Dance, which I know has a high following, and I know everybody that watches your stuff totally is in love with your videos. And I know this because I don't know if you noticed, but from time to time I do share your posts in the Shimmy Mall page and I do see the comments from the people. So I know everybody gets a lot of value from what you're putting out there. So tell me, how did that happen? How did you get the idea of Sparkly Belly and creating this whole online costume making training?
Yeah, so I always loved costume making. I just started out of necessity. I'm very short. I'm only 5 feet tall, and it was really difficult to find a costume that fits me. So I started making costumes, and I totally fell in love with it. Um, and I started Sparkly Belly in 2014 October. And prior to that, I had been working with my fiance Navid on his website. He's a professional oud player, and he teaches how to play the oud online. And I was helping him develop the website and film courses and whatnot. And I was just fascinated by how many people you can reach using technology. You can, like, there aren't that many oud players in Vancouver, but around the world there are tons, and it was just so fascinating to see that Navid can reach so many people around the world and inspire them and help them learn. And so I wanted to create my own like that. Like I thought that was so cool. And also running my own business was one of my dreams. So when I started Sparkly Belly, I really didn't know where it was going to go, but that's kind of how I started. And also, I wanted to combine what I love and what I want to do as a living. So I picked the topic of belly dance costuming. And when I look back, when I started making costumes, it was very difficult to find resources. And I did find some resources online, but back then I think a lot of things were text based, lots of drawings and things that helped me. But I'm a very visual person, and I kind of need to see how things go. So I thought, oh, I've learned how to film. I've learned how to edit some videos, basic stuff. So maybe I can combine the skills I learned with what I do. So I started filming how I make costumes, and yeah, and really thanks to the supportive community of belly dancers around the world, they really encouraged me to keep going. So that's really why Sparkly Belly is what it is today.
That is fantastic. So you mentioned that the community has been very supportive. So I'm going to ask you something that typically that doesn't happen in a lot of people that's starting their business. So did you, even though you had the community very supportive of what you were doing, because obviously there was a definite need and you're good at what you're doing. So it's not just that there was a need. I personally will say that your videos are very effective. They're straight to the point. You're very clear. So you're doing the right thing. You're in the right space for what you're doing. So congratulations on that. So for people that maybe are not in the belly dance community, have you found that some people maybe were not as supportive when you told them what you were doing, that they didn't think that it would be something that you could be successful at, or have you found support across the board?
That's a very interesting question, and that's something Navid and I discuss all the time because we are focusing on such a niche, such a very targeted topic like belly dance costume making or oud playing. Like not many people, we talk to our friends about what we do, and most of the time they have no idea what we're talking about. And it's really interesting because people start saying like, well, I don't know many belly dancers. Why don't you try salsa costume making?
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, if you're focusing on belly dancers, like, can you even make any profit kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
And at first I found it very difficult. Um, because but I think what we strongly felt about our business is that we have to be true to ourselves, and we have to love what we do, because I've forced myself to do many times stuff I didn't love doing, and it just never turned out good. And so this time, okay, we don't have kids yet, we're not married yet, we have no obligations. Let's give ourselves permission and let's give ourselves an opportunity to try what we truly love doing. And you know that sometimes meant that we don't talk to our friends about what we do so much. Like sometimes we change the topic when we're talking with our friends, because I think friends need kind of obligated to say something, and they offer their opinions, and sometimes that's not what we want to hear.
Well, and I think it's just that they don't understand. Like when you said you created Sparkly Belly Dance, in a way, you were inspired by your own need of not being able to find the resources.
Yeah.
So you figured out, if I'm in need, there are other people that are in need as well.
Exactly.
So I think deep in your heart, you knew that there was a specific group of people within, because not everybody that is a belly dancer is into making costumes either, right?
Exactly.
So you're extremely niched. It's not all belly dancers that watch your follow your Sparkly Belly, but it's the ones who either love making costumes or can't afford to buy them and need to learn how to make them on their own so that they can save money.
That's true. That's true. And what I love is hearing from people that I didn't know I could make this myself, or I made this first costume. And you're right. Like sometimes it's not belly dance costume. It could be a dance mom creating costumes for their daughters. And, being able to see that my work is touching so many people around the world, and people are so creative. They don't just copy what I do, you know. They always inject their personalities into their designs and, you know, materials they use, and that's what means a lot to me. Like, that's what I love seeing, and that's what inspires me to do what I do every day.
And then, so do you get your ideas all from yourself, or do you get, because I see that you do a lot of videos, like I've seen several videos of on YouTube where you have, you know, how to modify a bra so that your cleavage doesn't show so much, or things like that, where you adapt a costume to fit the person better, right? Just based on the personal needs.
Exactly.
Do you get those ideas on your own, or do you get them just based on the feedback and things you see the people say about their challenges with costuming?
Yeah, I think what I've been hearing from dancers over the years is they're always looking for costumes that fit them well. But well-fitting costumes can mean different things to different people.
Mhm.
Some people have problems with finding the right size bra. Some people have problems with belt, or other people, they're not, it's not that they want to cover up themselves, but they just want to cover their arms or just the belly. So I do brainstorm ideas for my tutorials based on what I hear from people, what I see people discussing on Facebook group. I have a Facebook group dedicated to sparkly belly readers, and that's where people ask questions. And, you know, when I find a common problem that people are facing, that's what I try to solve. And yeah, so really people inspire me. Like, I sometimes do what I kind of come up with, but yeah, like mostly people inspire ideas, and people send me emails with requests and whatnot. I try to value those and try to incorporate them into my posts.
That's awesome. So if so people, let's say that they come in and watch your YouTube channel, or they go to your website,
Yeah.
what exactly do they get from your website? Because I know you have the free stuff that you can find online, but they can also go deeper with you where they can actually take courses, correct?
Totally. Yeah.
Tell
Yeah,
us.
thanks. Yeah, thanks for asking that. So for my website, there's I think about over 60 tutorials now. They are completely free, and that's kind of overwhelming now, amount of information. So I do have a kind of introductory course that's also completely free to people who come to my website, sparklybelly.com, and they can sign up. The free course is called Belly Dance Costume Making 101, and yeah, so far thousands of people have joined and benefited from it. And like you say, I do have premium courses where we go way deeper into certain topics that I can't possibly cover in a 5-minute YouTube video.
Mhm.
So, for example, I have a belly dance costume workshop, which is a very comprehensive workshop where we start from how to sew, how to use sewing machine, to how to handle dancewear fabrics, which are very tricky to handle if you don't know how to handle them. So how to sew chiffon, how to hem skirt that's made of chiffon, how to sew stretch fabrics, that sort of thing. And then we move into creating a well-fitting bra, perfectly fitting belt that doesn't move around, and a skirt with a chiffon godet. I actually have that skirt right here. It has I don't know if you can see
That
it.
is beautiful.
Thank you. Chiffon godet here, which kind of opens up as you twirl. And also the workshop covers beading techniques and whatnot. So it's a really comprehensive A to Z kind of foundational program for belly dance costume making. And I have a few other courses that cover really specific topics, like making what I call swirly belt, which is what I have here. It's kind of a very modern design. A lot of Russian designers use, and sometimes North American designers use as well. That's a popular course. So I have a few courses like that as well.
So when people sign up for the course, do
Yeah.
they have access to the course immediately, or do they start at certain dates?
Yeah, so yes, all my courses are available online. So as soon as people join, they can start the course right away. And yes, all of them, people get lifetime access, so they can just start right away. Or some people decide to take time and go, module by module. It's really up to you. Yeah.
That is awesome. Which is nice. It's nice to be able to start right away versus having to wait because
Yeah, well, you're excited.
yeah, yeah. As I know there are some programs that are online that you have to wait for a certain date, even though they're online and pre-recorded, that they have certain dates where you start. So
Mm.
I'm glad you have its immediate access. I mean, it's easy. If somebody needs a costume, we can get it done right away. So
Exactly.
yeah, so I have another question for you. So people are watching this and they go, yeah, but if I have to make a costume, it may get expensive. Would you say, are there savings in making your own costume versus buying a costume made? Because I know you can get as expensive as you can get expensive depending on
Yeah.
the fit on your costumes. But what would you say if someone was just starting out, like new in the belly dance scene, maybe wanting to learn to sew, but or maybe knows a little bit and says, I don't know, this may end up costing me a lot more. Is it possible? My question is it possible to create a professional looking costume for a fraction of the cost of buying one already made?
Yeah, I think it is. And the reason is when you make a costume yourself, first you can make it to your own size. And that's really important to me, that the costume fits you well. Even if you buy $600, $700 costume but doesn't fit you well, it doesn't look $600 costume. I
Mhm.
think the fitting is the most important thing. And so being able to create well fitted costume, if the costume fits you really well, it doesn't matter if you have lots of rhinestones or lots of, beaded fringe going on. Like, even the simplest costume can look really expensive. So to me, that's really important, and that's what I encourage in all my tutorials and courses, is that you make it based on your own measurement. Like, I don't even provide patterns, because people's bodies are just so, the sizes vary and your preferences vary. So there needs to be room for adjustment. So that's a really important thing. And when you make your own, you get to really choose what materials you want to make. I know a lot of people go to like a secondhand store or thrift store and find like a ballroom gown that's really cheap and then convert it into belly dance costume. I think when you can be really creative with your materials and things like that, yes, it does take a long time to make your own costume, but I think the final result, it's one of those things you don't know until you try. Once you try it, you learn so much. Like, every time I make a costume, I learn something new. And you learn so much about your own body too, like what looks good on your body. Like, something as small as try using like different types of bra base for making your own bra. If you use like more full coverage bra, it kind of, you need to see what it looks on your body. Like, sometimes full coverage bra really makes your torso look slim. Or maybe you make your own belt and then you find what kind of belt shape looks best on you. So that whole learning and being able to inject your own personality into the design and being able to put your creativity into it, I think it's worth so much more. And yeah, like when you just look at money too, I think you can save a lot. But like you say, you can really spend a lot on materials too. Like, if you just want to bedazzle your costume with all Swarovski stones, they can be pretty expensive. But yeah, hope that answers your question.
Yes, you did. You did. Well, I asked you because I mean I don't make costumes, but I know a lot of people that are watching this are possibly into making costumes or interested in getting into making costumes.
Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of highlight, the benefit of making your own costume, even though it may take some time. You can get, you can have a good looking costume at a
Definitely.
cost. And like you said, the primary rule is making sure that it fits well.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you're making it for yourself, you're going to tailor it to your body versus mass production where everything is based on specific measurements and not necessarily yours, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I think that's really important, and that mass-produced costumes are based on averages. It's not like really the averages of us. It's averages of the fashion industry, which is much narrower, much kind of stockier. So, for belly dancers, costumes are something that, it's like it may be the only layer that's protecting your body, on stage, and you need to feel comfortable in it. Otherwise, you can't feel confident on stage. So, to me, that's really important.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. You have good advice, great videos. So people watching, if you have not yet seen Mao's videos, you have to go and check them out. Your website is?
Sparklybelly.com.
Sparklybelly.com. I like that. I like that. The sparkly came, did you put glitter on your tummy? Did you sparkle your belly when you were performing? Is that where that came from?
No, I just like the sound of it. One time, like Navid and I were just walking through the park and like sparkly. I just like the word sparkly. And then what rhymes with sparkly? Sparkly belly. Okay, let's call it sparkly belly.
That is so cute. That is so cute. Well, it's a pleasure to see you again and to have you in this series. I mean, you're a bundle of joy. You really are. Like I said, it can't help. Like I can't not smile when I'm seeing you. So, and I know people love you. I know they do. I remember when you did the tutorials for the Shimmy Mob, I got so many comments about how much people loved your personality.
Oh, thank you.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. And but it's true. It's true. And I think it's important for us to highlight when somebody, has something so special. I think it's important for them to know. So I wanted you to know that.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. So everyone, go check out sparklybelly.com. Mao will be there. And if you're interested at all into getting to learn how to make costumes, you definitely want to take the courses as well. So don't just watch the freebies, because as Mao explained, her courses go into a lot more depth and will save you a lot of headaches, so you understand how to work with the fabrics so you don't make big mistakes.
Yes.
So yeah. So thanks again for being in the series. We're gonna have to say goodbye for now.
Okay.
And we'll see you hopefully soon.
Yes, definitely. Let's go for coffee or something when you come to Vancouver.
Okay, we shall do that.
All right, yay.
Okay, bye now.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching the Shimmy Mob video spotlight series. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a comment below. And if you would like to be featured in the future, send us an email at shimmymob@gmail.com.